Good evening, everyone. My name is Cheryl Rowitis, and I am the president of the Ball State Nursing Alumni Society, and I would like to welcome you here tonight to our pinning ceremony for our December 2017 Ball State University Nursing School graduates. Before we recognize our graduates tonight on stage, I have the honor of introducing our distinguished guests. Please hold your applause until all have been introduced. And as I call your name, ladies, if you would please stand. We have Dr. Linda Sittberg. She's the director of the Ball State University School of Nursing. We have Carrie Osborne. She's the faculty at Ball State University School of Nursing, and she's also a member of our Ball State Nursing Alumni Society, and she's also our guest speaker tonight. Ms. Manaz Mahmoudi. She's a faculty advisor for this group. For the 2017 December baccalaureate class, and she's also faculty at the Ball State University School of Nursing. We have Ms. Stillen Mello. She is a Ball State Nursing Alumni Society member. And Ms. Sue Taylor. She is our connection over at the Alumni Center. Her title is the Ball State University Alumni Director of Collegiate, Reunion, and Affinity Groups in Strategic Engagement and Communication. So I think she wins on the title tonight. So please, I would like for you to extend a warm welcome to our distinguished guest. Thank you. I would also like to recognize the other faculty advisor, Mr. Joe Wheatley, who was unable to be with us tonight, but I'm sure the students would like to also acknowledge him too. Just a little reminder for all of you, if you wouldn't mind just staying in your seats if you want to take pictures, just so everyone can see. Sometimes it gets a little bit crowded if people are trying to get into the aisles to take pictures. Tonight, we're going to have a special welcome from Sue Taylor.
Good evening. It's my pleasure to bring greetings from the Ball State University Alumni Association. Students, nurses now, you're among our nation's best and brightest, and your Ball State Alumni Association is very proud of you. With your degree, you join its ranks of more than 186,000 living alumni all over the world. When I graduated, there was like 40,000, so this is quite a nice number. Tomorrow you can march in the commencement exercises at Worthen Arena with other graduates, hear remarks from distinguished guests, and be part of a large ceremony. But tonight, we are pleased to be among the first to congratulate you on completing a most difficult degree, one that prepares you well for your chosen profession. And tonight, it's all about you. We realize that the journey to this destination is one that comes with a lot of challenges. You've studied, you've sacrificed, you've persevered to get here, and yet conquering the difficult aspects have made each of you a stronger, better nurse and alumnus. As a graduate, you also become a member of Ball State's Nursing Alumni Society that Cheryl just mentioned. This is comprised of nursing graduates from Ball Memorial Hospital and Ball State University now. It's a wonderful group of volunteers, and some of them you've just heard about are here tonight. They continue to serve their alma mater and the School of Nursing with enthusiasm. They coordinate programs such as this, host reunions and special events, and annually recognize nursing alumni who are excelling and serving with excellence in their professions. As you join the ranks of alumni, we hope that you'll remember the Ball State traditions of leadership, dedication, and service by volunteering and supporting the School of Nursing and your alma mater. Please stay in touch with the Alumni Association as well. You should have received an email today from us asking for you to provide your new address when you get situated. We want to be sure that we can keep you informed about alumni events that are happening in your area and any services that Ball State will continue to provide for you as alumni. We'll be watching to see where your nursing career takes you. We wish you the very best, and we expect nothing less. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue. Next, we will have our invocation, and it will be led tonight by Elizabeth Ann Maxson. She's the secretary of our graduating class.
Lord, please help me to bring comfort where there is pain, courage where there is fear, hope where there is despair, acceptance when the end is near, and a touch gentle with tenderness, patience, and love. Amen.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Next, we have our guest speaker this evening. I'd like to introduce Carrie Osborne. She's faculty of Ball State University School of Nursing, and she is a member of our Ball State Nursing Alumni Society.
I have to get my notes, sorry. Thank you, Cheryl. And I also want to thank the fall graduating class of 2017 for asking me to be here tonight to speak. It's really a true honor. Pinning ceremonies are a long-standing tradition for graduating nurses. It's a tradition that signifies a rite of passage to the profession of nursing. The pinning ceremony dates back hundreds of years and is celebrated for achievement of all your accomplishments. As the graduates walked in, they each held a lighted candle. That represents one of the most well-known nurses, Florence Nightingale, who is credited with being the founder of modern nursing. The candle symbolizes the passing of the flame from Nightingale to each nurse, so to each one of you. I love the pinning ceremony and the tradition that connects us with our nursing history. Beyond the tradition, it is a great time to reflect on where you have been and where you are going. I am sure your journey has been different. Each one of you has had a different experience through nursing school. I know some of you have had your ups and downs throughout the process, but you've set your goals and you've worked hard to achieve them. Many people do not realize the time and effort that it takes to achieve this goal. The countless hours of studying and clinical hours involved in reaching this point, many successes and some setbacks. Even though there is significant sacrifice, nursing school offers you an invaluable experience which has prepared you to enter the nursing world. Think back to when you got the news that you were accepted to Ball State School of Nursing. I can imagine you were a bit nervous and very excited when you got your uniforms and your stethoscopes and all your supplies. You probably had no idea, though, what you were getting yourselves into and the dedication that it was going to take to get you to this point. The stress that you would experience to perform simple tasks such as washing your hands and making beds. You knew the steps were simple, but they seemed so complicated at the time. And I'm sure you were also sweating bullets having your instructors standing over you, watching every move to make sure you did everything right. Think back about going to the hospital for the first time and how nervous you were just to go into a patient's room and talk to them. And even more so than to stick someone with a needle for the first time. I remember some of you shaking with a needle going at a patient. So compare that to where you're at now, and compare that to the experiences that you've had this semester. You've grown immensely in confidence, and you've started putting all the pieces together. Beyond performing those simple skills, you're starting to think like a nurse. You've definitely come a long way. I have truly enjoyed working with each and every one of you over the course of your journey. I have been fortunate to teach, I've been fortunate to teach all of you for at least 2 semesters in Nursing 340 and 402, and I was even fortunate enough to have some of you in 330 as well. So I've really seen you guys throughout this whole journey, and working with you over time, I've seen your growth in nursing knowledge and confidence. And I know that you're well prepared to continue in your journey and transition to practice. Of course, there's still much learning to do. The end of nursing school is just the beginning. Most of you probably know where you will go from here. You have plans and goals. You are working on applications, have interviews lined up, or may already have jobs waiting on you. You will be the newbie again, though, just like you were when you started nursing school. There will be ups and downs, but a new and exciting journey awaits. As I look back on my own journey of nursing, I would have to say that probably the time that you guys are entering right now was probably one of the most challenging times in my own career. It's that transition time when you are becoming the nurse and everything is ultimately your responsibility. And I'm sure that most nurses would agree that this is a really difficult time. So family members, your support doesn't stop here. You need to continue to support these graduates as they move into practice. Because this is such a challenging time, I know I told the students that I hadn't written my speech yesterday, but I had done some preparation. And in preparation, I had sent out a little Facebook poll to my Facebook friends, my nurse friends on Facebook, and I said, looking back, what advice would you give to yourself when you started out in nursing after graduating and entering the profession? Well, I had lots of feedback. It's probably one of the most responded to Facebook posts I've ever had. So we know that nurses are very passionate. But after reading the responses and kind of sorting through things a little bit, there were 7 pieces of advice that they had to offer. The first was to remain teachable. This was probably the most prevalent piece of advice that I saw in the posts. Every day, every shift is a learning experience. Open your ears and learn from others. And most importantly, don't be afraid to ask questions. You're not expected to know it all, and nurses with experience are scared when new nurses are not asking questions. One of my most respected nurses friends with about 40 years of experience actually said, "You will never know everything." And I think that speaks to the fact that nursing is always a learning process. The second piece of advice they had was to remember that the patient is the focus of what we do. The ANA Code of Ethics says that the patient is the nurse's primary commitment, and we should practice with compassion and respect to all. Listen to your patients and get to know them. Find out what is important to them. Treat them like you are taking care of one of your own family members or someone you love. Before you act, always remember to ask yourself, is this what's best for the patient? Number 3 was also a common kind of theme throughout the posts and piece of advice, and it's that you have to own your mistakes. We are human, and you will make mistakes. We have to examine those experiences and learn from them and grow. When you make mistakes, you always need to report them. And then another good piece of advice was to find someone to confide in who can offer you support, because it can be really scary and difficult when you've made a mistake. The 4th piece of advice was also frequently mentioned, and is that you need to find a supportive environment to work. There are bullies out there, and people who you will work with that you feel like don't want you to be successful. Don't let yourself be bullied. Stand up for yourself. It's also important to find a nursing unit with staff and management who are supportive and will nurture you and help you grow in your role. If your environment is not supportive, don't be discouraged, and know that if you can't make it better, it's okay to move on. We don't always fit in everywhere, and that's okay. That's one of the great things about nursing. There are always opportunities for change when change is needed. The 5th piece of advice was to always be a team player. Always encourage your coworkers and be willing to help others. Include secretaries, techs, ancillary staff, collaborative team members, and other nurses. They are all valuable members of the team, and they're there to help you help your patients. One nurse said, if you are sitting and you look around and your coworkers are not sitting, then you better get up and help someone. The 6th piece of advice is that you need to take care of yourself. There are many ways that nurses mention that you can care for yourself, including raise the bed. How many times did we say that in simulation, especially? Raise the bed, use the lifts, don't move patients by yourself, wear compression stockings, and wear good shoes. Go to the bathroom when you need to, and eat and drink when you need to. Learn to set boundaries and say no if you're feeling burned out or tired of working especially. You could likely work every day. They will call you every day to come to work, but that will burn you out fast. So it's okay to say no. They will find somebody else to cover the unit. One nurse did suggest journaling, which will help you realize how far you've come and will also help you de-stress a little bit. Another nurse said, you can't pour from an empty vessel, and it's much easier to refill when you aren't completely on empty, so don't go dry. In other words, find ways to love yourself. The last piece of advice, finally I'm at the last piece of advice, was that you may not always realize it, but you are making a difference. There will be rough shifts, it's inevitable, and there's some days that you may not even get a simple thank you. Those days are the ones that you will feel like the work you do doesn't matter. But the work you do does matter. The good days will outweigh the bad. You will get recognition for the work you do, and you need to dwell on that and remember your why. You guys all became a nurse for a reason, and it's always important for you to remember why you became a nurse. One of the nurses suggested that you keep all of the thank yous and acknowledgments that you get, and that you can use those to reflect and kind of remember your why and give you some encouragement when you need it. Although there are some growing pains, your journey will take you to a point where you are comfortable as a registered nurse, finally. Where do you go from there? There are so many options for nurses and countless goals that you can set for yourself, depending on what you're interested in. There are professional organizations that you can become involved with, or specialty certifications that you can go after. There's countless committees and process improvement teams that you can be a part of in your organization. Some of you will begin to explore advanced practice degrees or may consider management, teaching, or research. I know you guys probably all loved research class, right? The possibilities are endless, though, and the sky is the limit. If a door is open, always seize the opportunity. I am absolutely certain that each of you is well prepared for your future. My hope is that the values that you've learned here at Ball State University will stay with you as you go on into your profession. The principle of beneficence that we uphold at Ball State is about a commitment to go out into our communities and do good. Our infamous Benny is not just a statue on University Avenue, but was constructed to symbolize the beneficence of the Ball family and the Ball State community. The hand of our beneficence stretches out to welcome new students to campus. The treasure box she holds in the other arm represents the treasure that education can offer. Her wings represent the flight into the world that takes place when you graduate. She represents your past, your present, and your future. Now is your time to fly. But as you leave Ball State University to pursue your dreams, please take all that you have learned with you into nursing and into your life. I make a personal commitment to each and every one of you to always be willing to help in any way I can, and I'm certain that my colleagues will do the same. I want to know where you are and what you're up to, and I can't wait to hear about where your journey takes you. Best wishes to you all, and thank you again so much for letting me speak tonight.
Thank you, Carrie. That was some good advice. I agree. Next, we're going to have our class pledge, and our class pledge will be led by Miranda Ross, our vice president, and Haley Paul, our treasurer of our graduating class.
Will our fellow classmates please stand with us? I solemnly pledge myself before God and in the presence of this assembly to care for the sick with all the skill and understanding I possess, without regard to race, creed, color, politics, or social status, sparing no effort to conserve life, to alleviate suffering, and to promote health. I will respect at all times the dignity and religious beliefs of the patients under my care, holding in confidence all personal information entrusted to me, and refraining from any action which might endanger life or health. I will endeavor to keep my professional knowledge and skills at the highest level, and to give loyal support and cooperation to all members of the health team. I will do my utmost to honor the International Code of Ethics applied to nursing and to uphold the integrity of a nurse.
Thank you. Thank you, Miranda and Haley. Now I think this is the moment that they've all been waiting for. Manaz Mahmoudi, our class advisor, will call the names of our graduates, and Dr. Sitberg will present the pins to our graduates. And a gift of some scissors from our Alumni Society and a carnation will be presented by Dylan Mello and Carrie Osborne.
Would the first row please stand? Samantha Grace Phillips. Samantha will be penned by her aunt, Elizabeth Lichty, Ball State School of Nursing, class of 1971. Miranda Lynn Ross. Elizabeth Ann Maxon. Haley Nicole Paul. Alexandra Jeanette Olson. Would the second row please stand? Harmony Abshire. Sierra Diane Anderson. Emily Claire Boise. Tatiana Renee Briscoe. Haley Peyton Burford. It was me. Sydney Alexandra Cat. Bethany Allison Cole. Dara Cheyenne Starr. Nikki Cromer. Renee Ann Gregorchak. It's good. Amy Sue Hampel. Hannah Ray Heath. Madison Claire Hidalgo. Madison will be penned by her mother, Heidi Kloper, Ball State School of Nursing, class of 1992. Courtney Michelle Laker. Would the third row please stand? Brittany Nicole Lang. Courtney Ray Leash. Sophia Paulina Metaxas. Rachel Danielle Miller. Rachel will be penned by her cousin, Haley Thornburg, Ball State School of Nursing, class of spring of 2017. Caitlin Marie Knuckles. Alicia Ronnie Rajdev. Elizabeth Lucinda Ray. Macy Lynn Roberts. Devin Lee Schultz. Victoria Grace Sewell. Dayton Elise Tafflinger. Alyssa Nicole Triller. Dylan Williams.
Please join me in congratulating our graduates tonight. Thank you. We will now have remarks from our class president, Samantha Phillips.
The meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away. William Shakespeare. Good evening, family and friends, and good evening, fellow classmates and nurses. It feels good. Now, classmates, I want you all to take a moment and to close your eyes. I'm looking, close them. Now just take 3 deep breaths and take in the fact that you are here. You have made it. Open your eyes. Classmates, I would like us all to give a round of applause for our loved ones who helped us get here. They put up with how insane we became throughout the entirety of this nursing program. They put up with us as we anxiously applied, and then that brief moment of tranquility when we got in, and then the chaos that has ensued us up until this very day. That chaos isn't always understood by family and friends. I mean, why are we stressing so bad over an exam or something called a care plan? Well, I think unless you go to nursing school and you go through the program, you'll never truly understand. However, as if we all don't move around enough, I am going to ask you guys to stand for this next portion when you hear something that applies to you. So please stand if you've ever been with a patient when they've passed away, or have been with them when they were told that nothing else medically could be done for them. Please stand if you've ever cried with a patient. Oh, and you can remain standing. Sorry. Please stand if you've ever cried for a patient. If you've ever held a patient's hand, hugged them, or comforted them in some other way. Stand if you've ever asked a patient or their family members about who they really are and what makes them feel important. Stand if you've ever made a patient smile. And I'm sure we all have a patient that we will never forget. These are the things that exams and care plans aren't quite able to prepare us for. If you haven't experienced something on this list, you will. If you've experienced everything on this list, you're going to experience even more. Please be seated. As nurses, we are taught to constantly be looking out for our patients. How are their vitals trending? How's this medication going to help them? Are these 2 medications going to interact poorly? What's their Glasgow coma score? Sometimes we ourselves feel like we should be rated as an 8 on the GCS score because we are so drained. This is why it's so important that we practice self-love. Give yourself time to learn the unit that you're about to embark on. You will have days that you feel like you did absolutely nothing, but run around scrambling and like you accomplished not a single thing. And this is okay, and it's to be expected. Remember, we're brand new nurses with only 2 weeks of vast nursing knowledge. Now that we're finished with nursing school and soon we'll be finished with the NCLEX, find a hobby. We've spent the past 4 years studying non-stop and have truly never had free time. While I'm certain there's going to be plenty for you guys to read up on in your new specialty, please take some time to try something new and definitely not nursing related. Pick up a book, learn to make candles, join a weekly yoga class, or just take a day for yourself to wear fuzzy socks, sweats, and catch up on your favorite TV show. Find something that will help you decompress and recharge, because at the end of the day, we cannot be good nurses if we are not taking care of ourselves first. I would like to personally thank all of our instructors, all of you out there, and those that couldn't be here. I know I, as well as everyone else here, would not be here tonight if it wasn't for them. Nursing instructors are a different breed, but that's probably because they were nurses first. They do not just teach, they guide us and shape us into confident, compassionate nurses. They have been exactly where we are now, and they know the same struggles that we've gone through because they've gone through them too. And I think that's why they truly get it. This is what makes them so special and so willing to go the extra mile for their students. Please give a round of applause for all of our nursing instructors. I would also like to personally thank the Emmons family and Dick and Sandra Hudson for my scholarships. Without their family's support, I would not have attended Ball State, and without their encouragement, I would never have believed in myself enough to take on such a rigorous program such as the nursing school. And finally, I would like to thank my own family. My parents have been there with me through the ups and the downs. Thank you to my mom, who reminds me that I don't have to worry about every little thing, especially when that thing I'm worrying about is like 3 years down the road. Thank you to my dad, who I call before every single exam, and he always gives me the same pep talk, and it worked. Thank you to my siblings, who always encourage me to shoot for the stars and keep trying. And I especially want to thank my two biggest supporters, my husband, Trevor, who unfortunately couldn't be here tonight because of his commitment to the United States Army, and our son, Carson, who is here. Thank you all so much for coming, and congratulations, fellow classmates. Please give one last round of applause to our 2017 Ball State nursing graduates.
Thank you, Samantha. Closing remarks and benediction will be given by our class parliamentarian, Alexandra Olson.
Okay, so we did it. We're done. It's real. We are officially done with our BSN, and no one can take it away from us. After 600 plus clinical hours and countless late night studying, we have finally made it. We have gone from those doe-eyed freshman new nurses that walk into our first day of assessment clinicals, and they're telling us that we're going to learn how to do a manual BP, and we're like, what is that? To being seasoned veteran nurses that can name the top 3 signs and symptoms of any medication you can think of. Thank you, Prezi, for that. My sister said something to me the other day that I believe fits perfectly in this speech. She said, nursing is a tough job, and you'll experience a lot of heartbreak and hard days, but no matter what, there is good in what you guys continue to do. And how true is that? Like, she's 2 years younger than me, and I swear she's the wisest person I know. But we are so lucky to have chosen such an amazing career. We have the opportunity to change someone's life every single day we go to work. We have that opportunity to put a smile on someone's face that just learned that they are not going to live that much longer. I am so unbelievably proud of all of us, and I can say without a doubt that each and every one of you are going to be such amazing nurses, and that every unit you guys are on are so lucky to have you guys. On behalf of my class, I want to thank all of our families and friends who put up with all of our complaining and crying and mood swings, because I know it wasn't fun, but believe me, your support was well appreciated. To end this speech, I want to share with you guys a quote. Every day may not be good, but there is good in every day. I want you all to remember this quote as we start our journey as new nurses. Remember that no matter what happens in your nursing career, there is still good in what we continue to do. Congratulations, December class of 2017. We made it.
Thank you, Alexandra. Well, that concludes our presentation tonight, and I would like to ask all of you to please join us in the lobby to congratulate our new graduates immediately following the program. Will the class please stand? I'm going to ask that the audience remain seated until our class has exited the stage, and they'll meet you out in the lobby. And everyone, please drive safe and have a great evening.